Hello and welcome to Photo Feedback Forum. In this episode, we're going to be looking at cropping and how cropping can help tell a story and put a finishing touch on an image. I have some friends who are done some film editing, and they argue that the film editor is arguably more important than the actual director, because editing is where the story is really told. And cropping, there's something that could be said for cropping as a parallel to that. We're going to be looking at two images. These two images right here, sent in by viewers. So very much appreciate you viewers for sending this in. I would love to see some more images coming in, so please use the link in the description to fill out the form and send in those images. That's enough of my yapping. Let's get on to some cropping. Okay, we are going to start off with this Renfest cosplay recreationist scene. The maker has put us on the second line. We got the battle line, front line is right there, and then we're right there, shoulder to shoulder, behind their shoulders. So Maker has got us into an interesting, engaging storytelling location. So thumbs up there. I like the location. What I'm not so thrilled with is how much nothingness is here, and also this area over here. So let's use some cropping to address those issues there. So first off, let me make a virtual copy, and we're going to go with a cinematic crop of 16 by 9. Lops a little off the top, a little off the bottom. Make it even a little bit tighter. See what that looks like. Okay, I'm liking that. So there's less blockiness over here. Still have this whole guy here, and we got this over here. Let's let's zoom in. Let's do another virtual copy. Take the same 16 by 9 ratio. Let's bring it in even tighter. Get rid of, so there's no light coming over to this on the right side there. Yeah, it looks a little lopsided now. With there's so much over here and there's not as much there. So since the blocking is over here seems to be bugging me, let's experiment with a different crop altogether. I'm going to make another virtual copy. What if we go 4 by 5? Yeah, 4 by 5. Make it vertical. Fine with centering them. That does get us up close to this subject, but I think it loses some of the storytelling aspect of the widescreen there. So here is the before, here's the after. Yeah, so I'm not digging the vertical crop here. So once again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to make a virtual copy. Go back to the cropping tool. Out of curiosity, let's go 16 by 8 this time and go wide. And look at that. So in comparison to what we just had, I am definitely liking the wide crop. That's a given. We're going to do that. But how does it compare to the previous crop of 16 by 9? Let's take a quick peek here. We can compare. And looking at them side by side, I am preferring the one on the right here. I think it's more engaging. We're get close to the subject. I scoot it over a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. So my recommendation is just to play around with crops, see where the story is. It could be you could have nailed it right off the bat in camera, but if not, don't be afraid to play around in post. Okay, we're now going to move on to this character here. A very engaging subject here. The maker shot it at otter level, eye to eye, so we're engaged. It's a good composition. What's working for it for me, love the bubbles over here, got the ripples, nothing distracting back there at all. So let's see if cropping can improve upon this composition here. Very first thing we're going to do is make a virtual copy, and straighten it out. That is one thing it definitely needs. Get a little bit straighter there. This is going to be our baseline. So we're going to count this as shot. Let's make a copy, and let's give it a cinematic crop of 16 by 9. And see how that compares to the original. Here's the original, 16 by 9. We are brought closer to the subject. So I think that works. Might be just going to be a little too much space here. So let's make another virtual copy, and let's give it a 16 by 8 crop. That's the beauty of digital. We're not reliant on standard crops. We can do whatever we want. So here's 16 by 8. Here's the previous one, 16 by 9, 16 by 8. I'm liking that. So if I like that, I'll make another virtual copy. What does 16 by 7 look like? Yeah, it's important to keep the neck and those bubbles in the shot. So this time we still have the bubbles. We still have some ripples over here. Hardly any space over there. So compared to, this is 16 by, I think I said 7. Here's 16 by 8. I think this is a little tight. I think that's looking better. And then just to make sure there's not a vertical image here, let's take a look at, let's go 4 by 5, expand that out, looking down. So we certainly have the subject filling the frame, and that is important. But I think we're missing some of the atmosphere, and that the wide crop gives us. So that, I think, is a more engaging crop. That, I think there's just too much headroom. If you're not sure, just use the comparison tool. You can look at all 3 that I'm interested in. I think maybe there's too much space all around, too much headspace there, and I think this is the Goldilocks version here. So I think this would be the keeper here, and all of that with just a simple crop. I think that improved the image. The maker did a good job of making a sharp image, getting low, and just identifying this as an interesting subject to begin with. So there you have it. That's how cropping can change an image, can help with the story. The next time you have an image that you're working on, play around with the crop tool. There could be a better image than what you originally took. That's the thoughts for today. Once again, please send in some images. Love to get some more that we can learn from. Take care. Bye-bye.